Makes absolutely no sense. Look, we're living in this era of Donald Trump with all the conspiracy theories.
Now, Bob is on Barbershop Conversation wagging the fingers at these Negroes. It's shit ludicrous that his trainer, Mark Breeden, put something in his water to knock him out. He talking to these motherfuckers like they his children on this motherfucker. Where is where is the powerful Sambo at? Where's the Sambo with the do rag? Where's the Sambo from the Bronx, Drew Titan? Why is he not beaming in? Why is he not beaming in to tell this old caveman this old caveman what time it is? Because you know why? Because they got respect. They got respect for this pilgrim. They got respect for him, but they don't have no respect for the fellow guy, their fellow brother man. Their fellow brother man came in there to chop it up with them. But I'm glad Sugar Hill didn't show his ass because he's not that type of character, and I'm glad he didn't go out. He didn't let them take him out his character. He do a lot for people, teaching them boxing. Boxing is a skill that you can take throughout your life and accomplish anything and anything. And kids with that background, if they don't turn pro, maybe they gonna only own business. Maybe they're gonna do something in the community. Maybe they're gonna be an entrepreneur, whatever it is. But boxing teaches you a whole lot of life skills. So I'm glad that people does that. People do stuff like that because it's not a whole lot of money in boxing. Only for the people that's at the top. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of people. When I yeah, brief story. When I went to college and got out of school, I was making more than most boxers in the gym. Most boxers in the gym, I was still going in there sparring with them. But I was doing things that they couldn't. I was doing things that they couldn't do. Family. I was going on family vacations. I was going on family vacations. I was traveling outside the country. I was doing all kind of things that they couldn't afford to do, and they was professional boxers. Don't think all boxers is getting paid a lot of money. I know some boxers only get paid $4,000 or $5,000 a month and have to have a regular job to supplement their income. There's a lot of boxers have to supplement their income. So I don't mean to rear off the subject, but man, these guys don't get paid a whole lot. And for them to have such an honorable man on the show, and show him this so much disrespect, is not cool at all. What they did to Drew Hill, and a lot of these maniacs is sitting out there celebrating what they did to this guy. There's another black guy. But when that referee was on there and Bob Earl on there telling these niggas what time it is, and they didn't do shit, they sat there and take that licking from them.
All this stuff that doesn't make sense. Athletes don't have to stoop to that level that the president has stooped to
Look at him shaking his head.
during the last 4 years.
But Mr. Aaron, with all due respect,
This look how respectful they is to Mr. Erm. With all due respect, sir, you sir, all due respect, sir. Can I make this point right here? And I want you to hang up and explode on me.
I'll get to the next call. Yeah, go ahead.
well, I'm gonna say this. There's obviously been uh, a shift in the way that people, in the way the fighters do things prior to a fight since the Deontay Wilder fight. Everybody's checking gloves, and the gloves might have been the right weight, but it was a distribution of the padding. I never mentioned anything about egg weights, but I think you should take my pause for.
Those are inspected by each camp before the fight is signed. He can't. They That it can't happen. You're dealing with stuff that may have happened at one point in time years ago when stuff went on, and certain states don't have those type of, proportions. But in Nevada, at the present time, you cannot screw around with gloves. You can't do it because of
Tyson, you think in a championship fight with millions of people watching around the world, this is not 1964, 1954, with millions of people watching. I'm talking about a championship fight where they actually going to take and cut the gloves off at the end of the fight. You think Tyson Fury going to risk putting something in his glove? It's too many excuses being made, man. Too many stupid ass excuses are being made for a grown ass man who lost. He is a bad example for American kids, black American kids, because that teaches you if things don't go your way, point fingers. I'm glad I had a father. My father never let me point fingers at nothing. I couldn't talk about nothing. I couldn't even. I remember riding around with him. I remember riding around with my father. We riding everywhere. We ride to Virginia. We go to New York. We just ride around for hours, hours. Sometimes we stay days. We be sitting there talking, and it be on the weekend. He's off from work. He's off from work. I don't have to go to school till Monday. I don't have to go to work back to work until Monday, or maybe I lost a job or something like that. I remember just wanted to tell him my side of the story, just to see. I always used to come up with. Sometimes it used to get better and better. I have all the evidence that I've been done wrong. I say I just want to hear my father say, "Son, yeah, they did you wrong, son, but you gotta do this and do that next." No, I ain't getting none of that shit. Soon as I say I got fired, and I start explaining, the next word come out his mouth, which, um, did you do your job? Did you do your job? I say, yeah. Well, if you did your job, you still be working there. Just focus on your job. That's just how you talk. Just focus on your job, son. You'll be all right. You got fired. You get another one. You learn from that. You learn from what you did on that job. I said, but Dad, I ain't do anything. They find me. Son, what part you played in it? Nothing just don't happen like that. You played a part in it. My father was one of the first guys that was a first-class machinist at Bethlehem Steel. That meant a lot in the 60s and 70s. He was a lot of black people worked there, but they wasn't machinists. They weren't machinists. So my father had the same job as the white motherfucker had, making parts for the ship. That was a highly skilled job. And he was making people back then, before before they got rid of all these factory jobs, a lady can stay home and a man can take care of their family easy with not even, and retire in 20 years and have a lot of money. That was how it was in the 70s and shit like that. I was there. I know how it was. But that's how it was in the 70s. Some guys was making so much money in the 70s where they could have 2 and 3 families and pay for all the families because they was getting paid. It was getting paid weekly. I remember my father was getting paid $575 every damn week, $600 every week, and groceries was low as shit. You can go grocery shopping for $30. You can go grocery shopping for $30 and have like 10, 15 bags worth of shit. So that's why women didn't work. Women had a bunch of kids, and they had to depend on the man to bring home the bacon. That's how things was. But my father he never let me make excuses. And when I got older, when I was young, I didn't understand it. But once I got older, I took responsibilities for it. I'm gonna give you one more example. Damn, my father helped me out. I remember it was everybody I was working on the floor. I was a kid. I was a young kid. I was like 22 when I got in my profession. Everybody was older than me. I was the youngest one that's in my profession. That's writing out schedules and make a schedule for grown people. That was my job. But one time it was a medication that came in. Everybody signed the shit for like a month. I wouldn't sign it. I wouldn't sign it because I would go and get that medication from somewhere else other than a person. So I brought it to the person's attention. So the lady asked me, said, "What made you go do the extra work? What made you go do the extra work when everybody was signing for a month?" I said, "You know why I didn't do it? Because I knew the order was wrong. I knew the order was wrong. I knew they changed it in the notes, but the nurses was too lazy to transcribe the orders in the computer and get the right dose. Get the right dose. So instead of getting 10 milligrams, he was getting 5. And once I seen the note that he's supposed to be getting 10, he went on appointment and they changed. He had some bad labs and they changed it. I called the supervisor. I did everything right, and it took me at least an hour and a half, and I was still in the middle of my medication. So the charge nurse was like, "Damn, Charles, why you just didn't sign it? You caused yourself all this problem. Now we gotta wait for the doctor to send this." I said, "Because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to come here looking for an easy day. I'm supposed to come here to do what I'm supposed to do." And you know what that lady said? Whoever they raised you right. They raised you right. Because I could have, and everybody who did it that way got in trouble, and some of them got even reported to the board of nursing. But I never been reported to the board of nursing in damn near 30 years. Never, not once. That was due to my father not letting me make excuses. Because I know if I would have signed that motherfucking paper like everybody else, my name would have been in the mix. So do the right thing. Deontay Wilder, you do the right thing and get better at his craft. Stop making excuses, because it's not going to change anything. They never go back and change the records because they got too many evidence that he's not cheating. It's beyond a reasonable doubt that Deontay Wilder going to come up with something. He's not going to be able to come up with nothing. Because look what he's accusing the man of: putting something in his drink. That's not going to fly. That's going to get him sued. Putting something in the gloves. That's not going to fly. And sticking his hands outside the gloves where he could break his wrist. That's not going to fly. That's dangerous to have your hands sticking outside the gloves. That's why I know a lot of these boxers, these guys never box, because if you throw a correct punch with your hand hanging outside the wrist, you can, if you put enough power on that punch, you can break your fucking wrist. So I know that's not effective. That's not effective cheating. You cheating to hurt the other person, not yourself.